You're probably here because you work for one of the thousands of organizations that have started using Microsoft Teams more and more to stay connected with your remote colleagues and customers. And you wouldn't be alone. At the end of October 2021, Microsoft reported that they had 145 million users every day using Teams. Incredibly, that's 200% more daily users than what was reported just 2 years prior. With 80% of organizations still encouraging employees to work remotely, it's a no-brainer that collaboration tools like Teams are being aggressively promoted internally to keep people together in one place. But Microsoft Teams is not just about bringing people together. Teams' ability to centralize, organize, update, and share useful content, the kind that you use over and over again in RFPs and proposals, is a powerful feature that is often underutilized and underestimated. In today's presentation, I'm going to walk through some of the main features of Teams as they pertain to content centralization and management, and how you can leverage a solution like this quickly and easily to boost productivity within your RFP and proposal processes. My name is Ché van Heerden, and I head up our customer success organization over here at QorusDocs. I hope that you'll find great value in the practical tips laid out in this presentation to leverage the power of Teams as a world-class, feature-rich content management system. Before we dive into Teams, I'd like to share a few statistics with you from a QorusDocs benchmark research exercise done this year. We surveyed a number of organizations on the challenges that they face when completing RFPs, and they all had the same underlying sentiment. The RFP process is complex and mostly hinges on clean, organized, centralized, and accessible content. So let's have a look at the top results of the survey. In the top spot, 41% of our respondents agreed that creating content from scratch continues to be the biggest challenge for companies. Now, this shouldn't come as a surprise if you've read the statistics that employees spend, on average, 2.5 hours per day, or 30% of their workday searching for content. We can see that pretty high up on the chart too, in the number 3 spot. And what do you do if you can't find what you're looking for? You rewrite it. These content recreation efforts can cost an organization $5 million a year. In addition to that, in the number 2 spot, 40% of our respondents say they can't measure the effectiveness of the content that they do use. So even if someone writes something they think will win, organizations have no idea if it's effective or what its impact is on the outcomes. And what you can't measure, you can't monitor or learn from. So can Microsoft Teams really be used as a robust, scalable, lasting content management solution? Well, let's take a look at some of the characteristics and features that you'd want out of any content management system. Obviously, you'd look for a solution that could centralize your content somewhere for people to be able to access it. It's a bonus if you can do that where people already work today. That significantly impacts the adoption of the platform that you choose. Then you'd need to be able to organize the content in a structured way that helps people find what they need easily. So a solution that could break up content into different folders, for example, or apply metadata, tags, or labels that could be searchable. Preferably, your solution would be able to do both of those things. Very importantly, you'll need a content management solution that can secure your content to ensure that only the right people have the right access to the right documents. Most organizations are moving toward global consistency in voice and brand, meaning that you'll also want a solution that can store content in formats that support your organization's styles and branding. Managing content usually requires subject matter expert collaboration to ensure your documents remain factual and accurate as the business changes over time. So you'll definitely want a solution that can accommodate multiple folks working together in one document, and that solution should seamlessly manage all the conflicts and versions. So, of course, powerful version control is an absolute necessity. The ability to roll back to previous versions or simply see what was changed and when is a fundamental capability of any CMS. Lastly, as your organization and its content grows, you'll want a solution that can scale with you, perhaps allowing for automated reminders to prompt for content reviews so your repository can remain fresh and accurate with the help of multiple people. Fortunately, you don't need to look further than Microsoft Teams, a tool that you probably already use every day. Teams can do all of these things and a whole lot more. And in the next few slides, we're going to have a look at how I configured a team to centralize a large repository of content. The first step in centralizing and organizing content for everyone in Teams is, of course, to create the team. I've chosen to create a single team called the Knowledge Center to house all of my content. My entire organization has access to this team, so they can use it to request more content, ask any questions about the content using the standard general channel and chat functionality that comes with every team. Then I've created a content channel within that team to house the actual content files. When people in my organization click on that content channel, they'll be presented with my folder structure on the right-hand side, listing the type of content they can expect to find in my channel. Next up is tagging the content to help people find what they're looking for quickly. This is what one of my folders look like when clicked on by a person in my organization. They can see all of the properties of each document, including the last time the document was modified and by who, the subject matter expert, the next time the document will be reviewed, and other useful metadata like tags, which can be used to filter to narrow down specific subsets of documents. Of course, searching for the content is a critical function of a solution. Fortunately, searching in Teams is super simple using the global team search bar at the top of your Teams application. Enter in your search term, point it to the right team, and your results will show up in seconds. The search is fully contextual, meaning it won't just bring back results based on the title of the document, but it will search throughout the contents of the documents too. This includes words in PDFs or images or any other file formats that are recognizable and supported by Microsoft. The search also learns what's important to you over time, so the more you use it, the better it will get at serving up the right content to you. Keeping your content reviewed is paramount to the success and adoption of your content. Because Teams leverages Microsoft's powerful automation capabilities, it's super simple to ask Teams to remind you to review a document with a few short clicks. All of the folders in our content channel have SME and next review date columns. This will allow Teams to prompt the SME for a content review on the given review date. This is done once and will apply to all the documents in your content repository that have next review dates. To exclude content from auto reminders, simply don't put a review date in the column for that document. In practice, SMEs will receive a link to the document 10 days before the next review date, and they'll be able to open it up, edit it, and close the document. As a content manager, you'll have the ability to then review the changes and do a final approval, making the new version available to the rest of the organization. Or you and the SME could spend a few days co-authoring on the document together, using Teams chat to collaborate as you do, all while leveraging the great functions of Microsoft Office like styling, tables, images, comments, track changes, etc. The customizations you make to the reminder logic and email are endless, but in the screenshots on this slide, I've implemented a simple and effective version of that is pretty out of the box with Microsoft and Teams. Real-time co-authoring in a single document is one of Microsoft's signature capabilities. To co-author simply means to allow multiple people to edit a single document together. In the sample you can see on the screen, Melissa, Paolo, and I are all working on updating the same document. We're all responsible for updating certain parts of it. As they open the document, Word will show me that they're in here alongside me. In addition, as they start editing, Word will lock everyone out of the paragraph that they're busy on to prevent overwriting. As soon as their edits are saved, the paragraph will unlock and the edits will immediately become visible to everyone. Co-authoring addresses many challenges that content managers face around emailing documents back and forth to multiple people, the need to merge everyone's changes when you receive edits back. This is a time-consuming exercise that can be completely eradicated by leveraging this powerful feature in Teams. Instead of sharing a document, we simply share a link that invites all the right people into the document when edits are needed. And while this document is being edited, it's not available to anyone else in the organization. They'll never see your edits until you formally approve it for organizational consumption. Only those who are allowed to edit the document will be able to see the updates while they're happening. Storing your content in Teams unlocks another very powerful feature of Microsoft, document version control. Right from within the document you're working on, you can access a full version history. Then you'll be prompted to choose the version you want to view. You can either restore it, which means to roll back to your selected version, or you can click on the Compare tool, which launches into Microsoft's rich comparison toolkit. The comparison toolkit gives you an exhaustive list of every single change made to the document. Whether someone changed the wording in a paragraph or bolded a letter, everything is recorded and timestamped. In addition, you'll see a beautiful side-by-side visual of all the changes to you, comparing the current document with the version you select. Teams has a really nice, easy interface for managing access to content. Because Teams is part of the Microsoft stack, you have the ability to give access to any person or group within your organization. You can do this from the Teams management area without the need to create hundreds of user profiles and without the need to ask for IT help. You can also safely secure access to any draft versions of documents, so while you're collaborating on SMEs with content updates, no one outside of the editors and/or approvers can access those changes until formally approved. And if you have content that needs extra security, perhaps there are confidential documents that you want to centralize for specific users only, then you can lock those folders down too, accessing the Manage Access menu available on each folder and then denoting which groups or users may access the documents within that folder. Next, I'd like to share some tips with you for storing content in the cloud, regardless of what content management solution you choose. The size of your documents is the biggest factor with performance when using content that's stored in the cloud. Usual activities like opening, downloading, previewing content can take a long time if you're dealing with large files. This pertains again to any cloud solution, not just Teams. Typically, there are two things that contribute to a document's file size: large images and embedded or hidden objects, sometimes referred to as clutter. Luckily, Microsoft provides a wealth of tools to ensure that you keep your documents lightweight and free from any unnecessary components adding to the size of the file. Using Microsoft's Compress Pictures tool, and this is available from within any of the Microsoft Office applications, you can easily double-click on an image and apply a desired resolution for an entire document's image or just one in a few clicks. And this is done without reducing the quality of the images. For example, a high definition image may be necessary for printing, but if you're only planning on sharing the document electronically, there will be no discernible difference to the naked eye if you drop the resolution down to a standard definition. The impact on the document size, however, will be huge. which also makes sharing much easier, considering most email systems will not accept documents over 10 megs large. Hidden objects and clutter happen over time as the document passes from person to person or computer to computer. Using the document inspector, which is also available from within any of the Microsoft Office applications, will highlight all of this clutter and allow you to remove it quickly. Examples might be embedded fonts, embedded documents, macros, personal identifying information, etc. It's considered good practice to scrub your documents of this clutter to prevent any unintentional sharing of previous data linked to the file, but it's also extremely effective in reducing the file's size. The next tip I want to share with you is to use the Microsoft Word styles correctly. Microsoft have over 100 built-in styles that you can make use of. There's a style for just about every scenario, so creating your own custom styles is often an unnecessary admin overhead that can lead to corrupt documents, weird behaviors when opening in different versions of Office, and other consistencies that can make formatting documents a nightmare. To apply your own organization's brand, as shown on the right-hand side of the slide, simply select the default Microsoft style that closely resembles what you need and edit it instead of creating a brand new style set. Then, for content that you use in proposals and RFPs, that is content you'll never use by itself, keep that styled in the plain Microsoft styles, those styles displayed on the left-hand side of the screen. Since you'll be copying and pasting this content into your proposal, as long as your proposal document has the properly formatted styles, i.e. the ones on the right-hand side of the slide, your content should adapt seamlessly if you've created them correctly. Outside of the perfect copy-paste, the advantages to maintaining content in this way are twofold. First, any content creators can use their out-of-the-box Microsoft styles to create content, and they don't have to worry about whether they have the correct style set in their version of Word or not. Secondly, if your organization changes brand colors or fonts, then you don't have to go through a massive content update exercise. Only standalone content and templates will need to be updated. There is a wealth of information, tutorials, and best practices as they pertain to styles available online. A quick YouTube search will surface up hundreds of valuable videos that teach you the fundamentals of using styles correctly. The investment that you make into learning how to use Microsoft styles will change the way that you work with proposals and RFPs and will save you many hours of painful formatting. Whatever cloud solution you decide on, there's a few fundamental things that you should look out for. A lot of folks focus on the back end and overall functions of features when looking for a CMS solution. Instead, they should be asking, how well would this system work for our average user? Having the best functionality isn't worth much if half of the users in your organization can't figure it out. This is why a solution that complements or fits right into the applications you use today should be a priority. There are also many cloud-based content management systems that have their own proprietary file system. Often you'll be required to recreate all of your content in a record format using a web-based editing tool. While this may seem fine at first, as you combine all the content into an actual deliverable for a client, you'll have to export it out of your CMS tool. And this can pose some real problems in terms of post-export formatting, especially if you're asking for others' input into the document who perhaps don't work in your CMS. And this is because most of our formatting, our brand and our styles are all naturally managed inside of our regular editing tools like Word and PowerPoint. And these external records-based solutions are not always compliant with the Microsoft styles and formatting technology. Try to find a solution that can be configured to suit other department needs. Having an organizational-wide solution will definitely help to rope in other budget holders into the conversation, which can add or fuel additional motivation for purchase and also ongoing prioritization. To really drive efficiencies, you want to look for a solution that can easily integrate with other systems in your organization to transfer data. It is very true what they say, you cannot manage what you can't measure. So analytics are an incredibly important way to determine what content is being used, where the gaps are in your repository, and what content you can archive. Any good content management solution will have a number of really good out-of-the-box reports that can show you all those vital statistics. Find a vendor with a good track record of not just excellent customer support, but proven referenceable record of great content management expertise. You want to make sure you're working with people who've done this well and who've partnered with similar organizations to grow and scale their content management solutions, not just those who are around for the first couple of weeks of implementation. And finally, look for a vendor that is innovating with advanced technologies like natural language processing, etc. More specifically, look at those vendors that are leveraging the giants in this space, like Google and Microsoft. These big corporations are investing billions of dollars into these technologies, and you certainly want to partner with a company that are tuning into that and building on top of those investments. One of the core values at QorusDocs is to always innovate. We will continue to do that as aggressively into the future as we have been. Our team was incredibly proud and humbled by the recent Gold Stevie Award we received in the Content Management Solutions category. While managing content is a big part of what the Chorus product offers and one we will continue to innovate within, we're really passionate about content management as a discipline. And so it was a real privilege to be able to present a solution that may give you an immediate answer to managing your content with the tools you already have today. If you're interested in understanding how QorusDocs can be added to amplify and enhance this Microsoft Teams solution, bringing your Teams content directly into the Microsoft Office applications through our add-ins, please reach out to our team at QorusDocs.com.